QVC2. We used to see a lot of GPSs, and then smartphones got smarter. People started turning to their smartphone. But you know what? What's old is new again. We're realizing we need the GPS when it comes to traveling, whether you are traveling just across the town or maybe you're going on that big summer holiday. You want the security of a Garmin. You want the safety of the Garmin. You want the ease of use. Garmin has continued to get better year after year after year, and we are now offering not only the most fully featured Garmin we've ever had on QVC2, we're offering a deal that you will find nowhere else. This is our big deal, and it has come just in time for all of your trips from now through the rest of the year and then beyond. You're looking at a $229 value that you are getting home for 6 easy payments of $31.66 with free shipping and handling. This is going to do what your smartphone simply cannot do, cannot keep up with. It's also going to do more than probably that GPS that may or may not have come installed in your car. So let's turn to our friend Bob Rayner, who brings us great Garmins to talk about this big deal. How are you, Bob? It's
Good
nice
morning.
to see you.
A pleasure to be here again.
So good. Well, this has
What
been
a
wildly
delight.
popular.
Yes,
You
it
know,
has.
Over 800 have already been ordered since you kicked off the big deal
Wow.
last night at
Wow.
9 o'clock. We have fewer than 500 left.
Oh, my.
And we should start by saying, if you're looking for a GPS, or maybe you're just now considering it because we're presenting it, there's a reason you go to Garmin.
That's for sure. Garmin's only business, the only thing they ever did, was manufacture navigation systems, even for airplanes, ships, and what have you. And of course for cars and everything. They're the world leader. They have everything, even golf navigation systems, believe it or not, are made by Garmin. They are the world's leader for a very big reason. They don't make toaster ovens or anything like
right.
that. Their sole electronic business is GPS, so naturally you would think they would do it best.
That's right. It's not like your cell phone that's also your camera and your phone and your calculator and your
All
storage of
okay,
pictures.
but they're compromises to
Exactly.
do all those things. This does just that one thing.
So for all this technology, you were saying that this is the most fully featured Garmin that you've ever presented.
Absolutely, yeah.
You also made the point to me off air that none of that matters if it's not super easy. The technology should be making our lives easier.
That is one thing that I always brag about and always begin telling potential users of Garmin devices. It is easy to use, and technology, no matter how good it is worthless if you can't access it easily and use it. And I always show that. Look at the GPS here and you'll see exactly what I'm saying. Right there is your screen, and when you turn it on, it literally has 2 icons to ask you 2 major questions. You want to view the map. In other words, do you want to see where you are? Or, number 2 question it would ask you is, where to? Where do you want to go? You can program in your home address. Anywhere in North America, you can touch one single icon and have the peace of mind of knowing you can go home.
Nice.
Add an address. You can put an address in there using a keyboard just like you would any other advice. Saved places, so all your favorite places that you've ever been, you can store in a memory, just like you would store a phone book. Recent places that you have visited, well, they're all listed there too. So if you want to go back there again to the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, so you can do. Categories, and we'll go through this a little later talking about points of interest, but look how easy it is for me to go. If I need a rest area, I'm traveling, I need a rest area, tap a few buttons and away you go.
Boy, is that nice for when you have the kid in the back seat saying,
I need to go to the bathroom,
yeah, how
or
much
I'm hungry
longer?
or whatever, sure.
And if you're like me, you're always just like, soon, soon, but you don't really know if it's soon. This will tell you exactly how soon it is.
Indeed, and you can easily answer the questions. So the ease of use thing, I love to do this in real time on live television because it shows you how easy it is. Let's see, where do I want to go? How about a place I was just at a few moments ago? How about we just head into the center of Philadelphia and I touch go? Right now it is calculating turn-by-turn directions from wherever I am to my chosen.
At the end of the street, turn left.
And it begins to navigate you there and then uses voice and
Turn left on
graphics.
Pheasant. Say a command.
And you can even do it by voice, and we'll show you about that in a moment. But here's the point, Sandra.
Oh, I just actually saw it said find parking too.
Find parking.
Boy, is that going to be helpful when you're driving in Center City.
There is actually a dedicated icon for that.
I didn't mean to get you off track, but I thought, well, that's pretty cool, right?
Well, there's a dedicated icon for that, and I'll show you in a moment.
Okay.
Not only will it find you parking, but it will walk you back to the parking spot if you forgot where you parked, believe it or
Love
not.
it.
So, but the point is this, what you just saw me do there is within what, less than 10 seconds, I touched the screen a few times, and now it is giving me turn-by-turn voice and visual directions in about 10 seconds. That is how easy this technology is to use.
So let me ask you this. Why do you think that this is better than what a lot of people, and especially a lot of younger people, are doing now? They pull out their phone and they start using that.
Well,
as their
where do I
GPS.
start? Just look at the screens. Actually, it's technically 6.95 inches. Can we round it up 5/100ths of an inch and say it's 7? 7-inch diagonal, usually much larger than mobile phones. It is much better in its mounting. You know, this Garmin mount, you may think that's a minor thing, the mount. Let me tell you something. Lesser GPSs, and I've used them, don't have a rugged, robust mount. And when you hit a bump and the thing flaps down or twists or
Yeah,
whatever, or
it's true.
falls off totally, you have a better way of mounting it. It's not compromised. The screen is optimized for daytime and nighttime viewing. There's a nighttime mode.
Well, how about the fact that it's mounted and you're not just like trying to hold your phone
Or
like
as
this?
I've seen,
have
put it in the ashtray or the cup holder and keep looking down
dangerous.
and looking away. All of that's eliminated. The touchscreen is made just to do navigation. It's better in the heat and the cold of winter in the car and leaving it in there, whatever. I could go on. And one of the
Well,
biggest points, no data usage. You
Well,
know, when
that's
you
right.
use your phone a lot, you chew up data. Well, this will link to your smartphone, and we'll talk about that in a moment. And you may use data in that regard, but it will operate standalone without using
Well,
any
not only
data
that,
at all.
It's your data. So maybe, you know, depending on your phone and your phone plan, maybe you don't want to chew up all this data trying to figure out how to get to the post office nearest you when you're, you know, in a town, maybe the neighboring town or something like that.
Exactly.
The other thing too is it's not going to chew up your phone's battery. And there's, you know, we all know what it's like to look down and have 5% on our cell phone. So
Yeah, you're right. And also, you know, one of the great things about having a dedicated GPS like that is you can use it in all of the vehicles you own.
That's right.
And if you have older vehicles that maybe don't have a built-in GPS, and we can even address that in a moment or two, you and I were
I'm making a face because I got a car about, I want to say maybe not quite 2 years ago, about a year and a half ago. I got a car and I was really excited because it had the GPS built in. And I was telling Bob off camera, it is a piece of junk. Now, I love my car, but I hate that GPS. It takes me places it shouldn't be taking me. Just putting it in is complicated. You know, having a GPS built in my car made me really want a Garmin.
Well, it's, you know,
To put-
I can remember on QVC years ago, we had a Today Special Value offering of this, and we had a caller call in, and I'd love to share this anecdote. She said she took her Garmin and suction cupped the mount over the screen of her built-in GPS because it was superior in its navigation and easier to use, and also free lifetime map updates.
Well, you can actually get charged quite a bit taking your car back
Several
to the dealer and
$100
say,
it could
yeah,
be, yeah.
you can spend more than this big deal going just to get your maps updated in your car for, you know, at the dealer. Let me show you exactly what you're going to get. Bob, maybe you can walk us
Sure.
through this. We're going to get the GPS art itself,
Obviously, yeah.
which, by the way, is so nice and thin.
Very
Garmin
thin
has
and svelte, if you will.
Garmin has really, like our television sets now,
Uh-huh.
Garmin has really changed with the latest and greatest technology. You get the mount, which is, Bob mentioned, no small deal because this is a very
rugged, very
mount.
robust. Right.
And then you get your chargers.
Yeah, that's a power cable that will either charge from your socket in the car, or you can constantly power it, and a USB cable, and we'll address that in a moment because you can use that to update, but you don't have to use it for updates because you can also update your unit via Wi-Fi if you wish.
And let me show you the value here because this is why it is our best value of the day on QVC2. It has a retail value of just under $250. We're bringing it to you for under $190. And on Easy Pay, you get it home for 6 easy payments of $31.66 with free shipping and handling. So it is an absolutely incredible value that you will not find anywhere else. And the thing that's so great about it is It's priceless in that it gives you peace of mind. It saves you countless hours of frustration. This is so fully featured, everything from finding you places to park to really helping you with TripAdvisor. Or how about this? We're going to explain this in a few minutes.
Sure.
If you have a teenager now driving, it will even tell you, if you'd like, where your teenager is in live time.
Yep, we're going to show you that in a moment. As you saw there, all of North America is covered with the built-in maps. Driver alerts we'll talk about in a moment, that's able to be controlled with your voice itself. Free smartphone link app can be downloaded onto your mobile phone and linked with all sorts of services there. You have visual notifications of incoming calls, caller ID, and text messages when you connect your phone via Bluetooth. So that's available as well. Lane assist with junction view, we'll show you that in a moment, where it actually shows you a picture of the same thing you're seeing out of your windshield. So it makes it virtually impossible to miss a turn.
Fantastic. So tell me a little bit about this idea of, the whole, let's say I get in the car and I'm ready to go somewhere, and let's say, okay, let's use the analogy, or the story that I just used. I get in the car, maybe I'm actually in this area, but I'm 2 towns over, and I just need to go to a grocery store, right? Or I said post office before, so it's not that you don't know how to get home because you've been to this town before, but you need to stop and get milk, or you need to mail that package before you get home, and you only know where those are near your house.
It actually happened here to a host, and I always tell this story, a QVC host, where he said, I had a check that I needed to get in the mail that day. He was in the next town over from his hometown. However, he didn't know where the post office was.
Yeah.
So he plugged it in there, and within moments he got the nearest post office where he was, even though he was close to home. The point to be made there is people sometimes think GPS, that's for trips, that's for long hikes, that's for big treks. Believe me, you can use this efficiently every day. As a matter of fact, in the selection, you can even use something called, right here, a trip planner, where you can actually put in all of your destinations for the entire day. You want to go to the grocery store, the nail salon, the post office, what have you. Put them all in there. It will arrange your navigation based on the most fuel efficient and time efficient route. You don't have to put a new address in every time you stop and want to go to the next place. If you're a salesperson, can you imagine that? You could put all of your real estate agent, you could put all of your things there in that, and then list all your trip, and it will calculate the fastest and cheapest way to get there.
That makes so much sense, because even in the towns we live, we tend to take the same roads all the time.
Indeed, right.
So maybe going from the grocery store to the post office to the nail salon, I only know how to get the long way each way, right?
Sure.
The fact that this could take you the back way and could shave minutes off your time, which is saving gas and all of that, is really fantastic. But it's also a safety issue. You feel safer when you have a Garmin in your car.
Yes, in fact, there is one feature that I really do enjoy showing about Garmin's that surprises people because it's not obvious at first. And that is, for example, right here on the map, if you touch the icon of your car or whatever you're using here, and it's a little tough for me to do this here when I'm doing it backwards on the TV screen here, so let me just do that a moment this way perhaps, and we'll be able to do it a little easier. When I touch that icon, you see a feature pop up called, it says right on the top of the screen, where am I? It gives you the compass coordinates where you are, the nearest intersection, the nearest street address, and the nearest, you'll notice here on the screen, hospital list, police stations, and fuel. To me, that feature alone makes owning a GPS worthwhile. The peace of mind that no matter where you are and what happens to you, that can be shown. And Garmin has now added this feature. If I touch that, it says directions to me. And when you choose that option, you can then say, okay, let's say your husband is home and you've got a flat tire and you want him to come and help or whatever, or to tell the police or the fire department that you have a medical emergency in the car. Well, you can then plug in where they are and read off to them the exact directions to come to where you are.
I mean, I think so many of us, so many of us can relate to this. It's at one point or another, stopping maybe because it's a car issue or something else, and having someone say to you, "Where are you?" and you say, "I don't really know."
Yep.
I mean, that's happened to me, yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So with all of those safety features, that is the number one thing that I think people like. Sure, there's convenience, sure, there's ease of use, but that safety factor just how do you put a price on that?
Yeah.
You know, especially when you have, and I've often mentioned this, especially when you have younger drivers in the family, you know, teenage drivers.
I don't want my daughter looking at her cell phone to try and use
Or
the cell phone app.
If you have older drivers, elderly drivers, the same thing, you know, they've often gotten lost. Unfortunately, I went through that with my dad. He went somewhere once, didn't know how to get home. You know, when he got much older. And now if he had this, if that technology existed at the time, I wouldn't have had to worry about that at all.
You know, I want to pick this up because I have a 15-year-old who's going to be turning 16 in